An open field mailbag this morning, led by your words on tanking to get high draft picks, graduation speakers, Hall of Fame snubs, the Colin Kaepernick saga, and Emily Kaplan. As you'll see, Kaepernick is still very much the topic that will not go away. On tanking strategy and relegation. As I preach to anyone who will listen, and to many who won't, tanking can be avoided 100% if North American sports leagues had a relegation promotion system as world football has. The Cleveland Browns, Philadelphia 76ers and other teams of their ilk would be wallowing away in their respective sports' second or third tiers by now if we had that system here. With the threat of relegation, how anxious would a fan base be to foot the bill for a new stadium if the owner can't or won't put a decent product on the field? How reluctant would an owner be to shell out a megabuck contract to one player when the rest of the team is mediocre at best? In essence, there would be multiple playoffs at the end of the season, one we already know and love at the top end of the standings, a second one at the bottom of the top tier, a third at the top of the second tier, with teams fighting to get into the first division, and the rest up and down however many other lower divisions there may be in each sport. Jim H., Wenatchee, Washington. Interesting point, Jim, and I believe all who believe in the sense of fair play and even competition think relegation could control lots of ills in sports. Want to know why it's not a viable situation for American pro sports? Because cities and teams and owners build stadiums based on expecting a certain revenue stream. If that revenue stream were, say, halved by being relegated, a team might default on payments for stadiums and player contracts. It's a noble concept, but it's hard to ask an owner building a major league caliber stadium to then risk playing what are essentially minor league games. 1967 week at the MMQB, our series of articles on what the game, the players and the culture of professional football were like a half-century ago. NFL contract evolution. Given that it is the off-season for 3 professional sports leagues and much of the discussion is about team rosters and salary cap issues, I was wondering if you could explain how it has come to be that the National Football League is the only major sports league in North America not to have fully guaranteed contracts? Thank you for any information you can provide and keep writing your very interesting articles. G.S. Teams haven't been willing to give fully guaranteed contracts across the board in football because of the specter of rampant injuries, which exists more in football than other sports, obviously. Could the players do something about that? Absolutely. Fight, and go through with the threats their union would have to put on the table in talks with owners. As I see it, players would have to be willing to miss multiple game checks, perhaps for as long as a full season, to get fully guaranteed contracts as the norm. Monday morning quarterback, Peter King on Randy Moss, equality and commencement speeches. 4 emails on Kaepernick. Seems like you and Pro Football Talks, Mike Florio are joined at the hip with regard to Colin Kaepernick. Over the top. I would suggest that each of you read or reread Andy Benoit's column on him not being at the top of the backup QB list. He just doesn't seem to fit the system.